Hey everyone, you're watching We Had That, and today I'm going to talk about the 1984 Wave 3 Masters of the Universe Kobra Khan action figure from Mattel. When Mattel released their first wave of Masters of the Universe figures in 1982, they put out a very solid wave of 8 figures. They seemed to rush to get a second wave out by Christmas, and this second wave contained only 6 figures. But by 1984, they knew they had a hit on their hands, and they had the time to create a larger number of newer characters, adding an impressive 12 new figures to the line. It was in this third wave that Kobra Khan first appeared. Kobra Khan stands out to me for several reasons. I only had 6 Masters of the Universe figures as a kid. I picked up He-Man and Skeletor right when the line showed up in stores, with Man-at-Arms and Stratos added soon after. Man-E-Faces was the only figure I added to my collection from Wave 2, and the final figure I picked up was Kobra Khan, whose name was a play on Kubla Khan. Being only one of 6 Masters of the Universe figures that I owned alone makes him somewhat of a special figure for me, but his gimmick was that you could put water in his torso and pump his head down to, according to the package, spray an evil hypnotic mist. As a kid, I used to spray it into my mouth, and I can still remember the way it felt on my tongue. But even without his spray feature, I thought Kobra Khan was a cool character. Just the fact that he was a snake guy was enough to make me want him as a kid. Later, Mattel released other snake men, and although I like a couple of them quite a bit, Kobra Khan stands out as both my favorite of the figures and the one that I think had the best design. Despite having quite an awesome weapon with his hypnotic sleep mist, Kobra Khan also came with a laser pistol. It was a slightly more orange version of the same gun that came with Zodak. It seems like the mist is a much cooler way to attack his enemies, but I guess it didn't cost Mattel much more to throw an accessory in with the figure, so why not? In the mini-comics, Kobra Khan first appears in the issue Double-Edged Sword, where he's little more than one of Skeletor's gang of bad guys. Although he does mention his venom in one panel, he never seems to use it in this comic. His appearance here isn't really in the forefront, he's mostly just a filler bad guy in this issue. However, this is the comic that I most frequently see packaged with Kobra Khan by far. In his second appearance, Hordak, the Ruthless Leader's Revenge, he does use his hypnotic mist, but only appears in about 3 panels, so once again, he's basically just one of a gang of bad guys. In Rock People to the Rescue, He-Man meets Stone-Dar and Rockon, a couple of peaceful guys who can transform into rocks, because transforming from one thing into another was the big gimmick for toys at the time. Kobra Khan and Webstore witness He-Man meeting the Rock People, but they've been sent to capture He-Man, so they decide they should follow the plan rather than report back to Skeletor. Kobra Khan uses his new sleep mist, which I guess is different than his hypnotic mist, to knock out He-Man. However, things don't work out so well for him when he attacks the rock guys. Skeletor becomes angry that Kobra Khan and Webstore fail in their mission, and Kobra Khan tries one more time to use his sleep mist on the rock people to no avail. So this issue actually uses Kobra Khan's powers specifically and doesn't just throw him into a story as a random henchman of Skeletor. From what I've read about the mini-comic, The Fastest Draw in the Universe, it sounds like Kobra Khan makes a decent appearance, but I don't have that issue, so I can't really say for certain. Kobra Khan makes one more appearance in the mini-comic, King of the Snake Men, where we see Skeletor, against Kobra Khan's warning, accidentally release King Hiss from some mystical pool he's been trapped in, apparently for many years. In this issue, it's made clear that Kobra Khan is not part of King Hiss's ancient team of snake men, and instead a member of the current tribe of descendants of the ancient snake men. Also, there's apparently another group of snake men who work with Hordak, who are separate from both King Hiss and Kobra Khan. We also see Skeletor order Kobra Khan to become a spy for him, joining King Hiss. Kobra Khan is definitely a main character in this issue. When it came to the Filmation cartoon, most of the characters from Wave 1 were featured a good bit through the entire run. Zodak and Stratos not so much. and most of the characters from Wave 2 showed up at least a little bit. I'm on the fence about whether or not to count Faker's alleged appearance. By Wave 3, Filmation was trying to get all of the characters some screen time, but that was tough because they'd practically doubled the number of action figures in the line with Wave 3. Still, they did manage to squeeze Kobra Khan into 7 episodes of the cartoon, sometimes teamed up with Webstore. Unlike most of Skeletor's henchmen, Kobra Khan was much less comic relief and more serious, kind of more along the lines of Evil Lyn. His first appearance was in the episode Disappearing Dragons, where he and Webstore are using a transporter ray to send dragons to another world to be forced to fight each other in an arena. Mechaneck and Buzz-Off catch them teleporting the dragons and get into a fight with them. Interestingly, in this episode, Kobra Khan's arms elongate and he wraps them around Mechaneck in a move very similar to the gimmick used for the Wave 6 action figure Squeeze, who was released too late to ever appear in the Filmation cartoons. Kobra Khan does use his sleep gas in this episode, elevating his role in the episode from just being a random goon for Skeletor. Orko accidentally teleports Kobra Khan and Webstore, along with He-Man, Mechaneck, and Buzz-Off to the other planet. Kobra Khan talks the inhabitants into forcing He-Man to fight their giant robot, so Kobra Khan actually has a pretty solid role in this episode. Kobra Khan's next appearance is in the episode Fraidy Cat, in which he's part of Skeletor's plan to capture Queen Marlena. Kobra Khan again uses his sleep gas in this episode. He's the one to physically carry the queen out of the palace, and he's the one who delivers the queen to Skeletor. But all of this happens in the first half of the episode. After the queen is delivered to Skeletor, Kobra Khan really isn't around anymore. Still, his sleep gas alone makes him a good choice for the character in this particular story. In Journey to Stone City, Kobra Khan, Webstore, and Evil Lyn secretly follow Man-at-Arms and Prince Adam as they search for the lost Stone City because the city supposedly has a great treasure, which Evil Lyn wants for herself. It turns out the treasure wasn't what Evil Lyn had expected, but she accidentally freed the leader of Stone City while searching for it. After Kobra Khan uses his sleep venom in a failed attempt to put down the leader, Evil Lyn convinces the guy that He-Man stole a machine from him and hid it in Castle Grayskull so that he would break into the castle for her. Even though Kobra Khan is in the episode a good bit, and even though he uses his sleep venom, I think any of the bad guys could have replaced him using any type of attack. So it doesn't really feel like the character Kobra Khan was specifically needed in this episode. Kobra Khan and Webstore appear for a couple minutes near the end of the episode The Good Shall Survive, where Kobra Khan uses his sleep gas and the elongated arm hug that he used in Disappearing Dragons. Neither move really relates to the episode, and he could have easily been replaced by Beastman or any of Skeletor's other henchmen in this episode. In the episode The Secret of Grayskull, Kobra Khan shows up about halfway through the episode and really doesn't do much besides stand next to Skeletor. His biggest moment in the episode is chaining up the sorceress, which is something that he does off-screen. The only thing that makes Kobra Khan stand out in this episode is that he's more of a buffoon than he is in the other episodes. He could easily have been replaced with any other henchman here. In the episode The Magic Falls, Evil Lyn plans to use a magic spell to make one of Skeletor's henchmen look like a citizen of Eternos. Skeletor points out that they need someone expendable, someone they can do without. Beastman and Trapjaw get scared, but Kobra Khan fearlessly volunteers for the job. Even though it's not the most time Kobra Khan spends on screen in an episode, even less if you consider he's disguised as a human for part of it, this is a great episode to show that Kobra Khan is a formidable enemy of He-Man and a more serious henchman for Skeletor. The last episode to feature Kobra Khan is also the last episode of the Masters of the Universe TV series, The Cold Zone, which originally aired in November of 1985. Kobra Khan seeks out He-Man because his people, the Reptons, are in danger. The eternal flame that warms them has gone out. While Kobra Khan does use his venom mist to knock out He-Man in this episode, I think it's the only episode where he can shoot lasers from his eyes. It turns out that Kobra Khan was actually the one to put the eternal flame out in the first place, and his plan was to frame He-Man, restore the flame, and become king. Which doesn't work out, of course, but it does show us how creative and how evil Kobra Khan really is, and it's a great episode for the character. After the original run of Masters of the Universe figures in the Filmation cartoon, Kobra Khan next appeared in the first episode of the 2000X cartoon, and there was a new figure of him in the 2000X line. Although Kobra Khan hasn't been released as a figure for every line of Masters of the Universe figures, he has often been included. The Classics line, the Reaction line, Pop's figures, a Pez 2-pack with Spikor, and the Origins line, just to name a few. What do you think of Kobra Khan? Did you have him as a kid? If so, what role did he play in your adventures? Did his water shooting feature make him a cooler figure for you? Tell me below in the comments. Also, please give this video a like, share it on social media, and if you enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notifications bell. And one last thing, if you collect toys, you should know about Toylanta, one of the biggest toy shows in the southeastern United States, held annually just north of Atlanta, Georgia. Visit toylanta.com for more information. As always, thanks for watching.